stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Obviously, the rain is a little loud, so if you can't hear, let me know. I'll turn up the microphones. The first item is public comments. First, I have John Grenable. If you could please use the microphone in the middle here.
I'd like to thank you for this opportunity, and I did call into the Tour Michael show, have it advertised over there, and of course somebody called in this morning and got everything all messed up, so Tour wasn't even sure whether there was a meeting tonight or whether it was just the normal meeting. So he said there was a lot of confusion, and that's just what happens. I don't know how many people here know that Gregg Township hasn't really had a lot of fire service, firefighting equipment for this year. And most of the people I talk to doesn't know that. And I think this is a good place to air that and to get questions answered and find out what's going on. Thank you.
Darren Breslin.
Thank you for having a meeting to get some clarification and hopefully some closure to what's going on in the township. It's been remains Gregg.
You're all here.
Sorry, what? Is that better? Yeah. All right, sorry. I'll get a little closer to the mic. To hopefully put the rumors about the fire company to rest once and for all. The Tor Michael show, there was a caller that called in and gave some false information. That's why there was confusion. The original caller that called in said that the state of the township meeting was exclusively revolving around the fire company, and that's not true. We have the audio, I actually have the audio in the pocket, back there actually, I'm sorry, that I can play to prove to everybody what was said. I don't think we need to do that. You can log on to the Tor Michael show and listen to it yourself. That's where the confusion. It was also stated originally that it was supposed to be in the gym. Thank you, Gregg Township Supervisors, for changing that from 106 to the gym today, this afternoon. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you. Miriam?
I want to get that help down there. That alley was never released back across every year. They put up a block. I ran over the block. I went pounded around over it and everything. And there was a state police involved because the neighbor called my grandson and showed him. They took the picture. And we went up that was on the 23rd, 2012. When they counted me around, there was 4 of them. The neighbor's mom, her, and the 2 kids. And I went to the state police that Sunday, and they said they couldn't see their face. They weren't going to do nothing. Not only did they come around there over my own road that goes up there. It's my land, and they lied to the judge when the judge asked them who it belonged to. They lost. I want that alley open. That is my road next door. That is my land. I've fought everywhere. I've been to the commissioner. I've been to Benny Hospital. I've been back to the up there where they have all the records. I've been there, and I get nowhere. And all I get is a bunch of lies from them. And then this woman went beat me up again. You can't go to the police because they stick up for 'em. But this is what our country's like. We can ask you all to resign.
Thank you. Dale Musser.
Well, I've been a member of Gregg Township Fire Company. Last April, I completed 60 years. I've never seen so much friction with the fire company like we have right now. And it's not good for the company. As far as new faces, wonderful. We need them. Us old timers are just going to step back. But we got to get things straightened out. There's too much friction going on. We got to get it straightened out or we're not going to survive.
Chris King.
Aye, Klein.
Celeste Powell.
I'm just here on the agenda. There's unfinished business in regards to new signs being posted for Cynthia Sweely. I just want to state my family and I, as residents off of Decker Valley Road, would like to express our opposition to signs being posted on Bonita Gap, Decker Valley, Lingle Valley for horseback riding for the following reasons. The first is through my research. It's our understanding that to post any modifications of a speed limit according to PA code, you must first conduct a traffic study. The question would be, if so, who pays for that study? These current roads that she's asking for signs to be posted on use these paths for her business. The recreational horseback riders in the community already, Millie Turner, etc., don't seem to have the same requests. In addition, the PA enforceable vehicle code signs recognize a bridle path or equestrian crossing. Neither of those meet, definitely not Bonita Gap. Currently, any Penns Valley School District youth that resides on Bonita, Lingle, or the Gregg Township portion of Decker Valley are picked up at their driveways. This protocol is based upon the decision of past traffic studies that identified the danger in the curves, blind spots, and narrowness of the listed roads. I took all that information. I have this if you need it for your little notes or anybody else who's recording and needs notes. I'll save them time. In addition, if the township permits posting of non-PA code signs, number one, they're not enforceable. And number two, if they're placed on township posts, my concern is it would feel like collusion between Gregg Township and Ms. Sweely's business. If they're posted privately on electric poles, which have occurred in the past, they're not approved signposts. PA code identifies that bikes and horses operate in essentially the same manner on a roadway. You must be on the right side on the road flowing with traffic. In addition, they must proceed in a single file line. I have a picture. I have two young drivers that operate on that road in addition to us for the last 19 years. The picture attached represents a small group, which is just a very small portion of what Mrs. Sweely takes up on the roads, blocking the entire roadway. It's unrealistic to believe that motorists will follow the signage requested by Ms. Sweely if they are not PA code enforceable. Currently, they're not operating under PA code as it is. As a taxpayer, I believe it's unrealistic expense to conduct a study on already known dangerous roads, and I would be highly concerned and very vocal in regards to supporting and endorsing a business by paying for signs and posting them on public roads. Our township has already been enmeshed in selfless, costly attempts to use it for fame and gain of individuals, and supporting a business is not what I would like to see my Gregg Township dollars used.
Thank you. Hobson, please state where you're from.
My name is Hobson McCown. I'm currently Ferguson Township, Center County. And I'm here today for two reasons. One is that I intend to establish a free gold estate in Gregg Township, given that I expect to be the next Center County Sheriff. And two, the behaviors undertaken by the township are similar to those inside and outside the county with other municipalities that tend to be in violation of the right to know law. Because you have unfinished business related to a single court case and because of the pending vexatious requester's resolution, I wanted to express that there are also vexatious municipalities and open records officers, and that if you intend to curtail one, you should make provisions to curtail both. That would seem to be more equitable for everyone, because there can be wrongdoers on either side. And certainly the Pennsylvania Constitution will be used to any public official in Pennsylvania is subject to removal from office for criminal violation while in office. It stands to reason that they are similarly susceptible to civil or other violations of the law. More specifically, my understanding is that the Center County Sheriff from Samsville has been in communication in the past with Gregg Township, specifically in regards to the so-called infrastructure related to video cameras, their recording, and the progression through the court system when challenges occur. And because I make requests to Center County for that information, and because Gregg Township defends their against requests made for the same, very similarly, it's important to me as a future freehold stakeholder to ensure that all the municipalities in which I'm situated are following the law. Certainly that can stand to save money. It can promote the appearance of integrity within government and give citizens a sense of respect for their public officials so that they too will carry their conduct from a day-to-day basis in a way that follows the law. I realize that it can be beneficial for the purpose of misdirecting attention. I realize it can be enjoyable, and I realize that it's just something to do to take up these challenges, take them to court, and so on. But I would ask that you discontinue this practice and comply as soon as possible with the right to know law. Thank you.
That concludes public comment. Next on the agenda is conditional use hearing. I believe we're going to actually table that for us to further review. If you'd like to make any comments or anything regarding that now, that would be more than welcome to.
I guess the biggest thing is starting the process of advertising. Have you guys had a chance to look at the application?
So they've been provided.
Okay.
Chris from the Planning Commission wants to make any comments regarding that as well.
I can say the Planning Commission has reviewed it. Planning Commission, actually over 2 weeks' time, there was records of supply. All the information requested the Planning Commission had for clarification of what it was. The Planning Commission recommended the supervisors that the use be approved for that site. That's as far as we got. Not necessarily, we really haven't got deeper into plans that the use is proposed is suitable for that. That was the recommendation.
And we do have all the maps, pictures, and drawings to that.
Would it be possible to advertise, do the legal advertisement?
Yeah, what we were saying before the meeting is I think the board should make a motion to take all action necessary to have the hearing at next month's meeting. That will take care of any necessary advertising and if anything else is required. I don't think there is, but just in case.
I'll entertain that motion to take any action necessary to advertise the meeting for the conditional use hearing for next month's meeting.
I will make that motion. I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion?
None here.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a question before we go. Was notice provided to the surrounding property owners at the planning commission level? Okay. Have you spoken to, I understand you might own some properties around this as well, but to the extent that there are surrounding property owners, have you spoken to them about it?
No, it's my understanding that they notify.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Normally at this point, we have a bunch of our liaison reports, but because we want to give enough opportunity for people to ask questions, the only liaison report we'll do right at this moment is going to be the Old Gregg School, and that's because we have some motions and stuff we have to do regarding that business. So, Carol, do you have a report?
The only thing we have is that the purchasing of the tables for the pavilion, and we're going to, there's one sitting out in front that everyone can look at, and what we're hoping to do is to have people make donations of $150, and then they will get a plaque, and I believe Pam is,
We have
6 by 12 or something like that, it's either brass or plastic. 4 by 2. And then we'll have a couple lines, but we're just hoping to get them paid.
Is it, how many, 8 tables?
There's 8 tables.
There are 8 tables available.
We'll have sheets coming this Saturday for the community fest.
That will be available for you to make a donation of $150 and a little plaque with your name will go on them. Those are for the pavilion down at the ball field. There is the Community Fest is this Saturday. What time?
10 to 3.
10 to 3. It's the Old Gregg School and the YMCA. So there will be vendors in the parking lot here, down the street, and then kids' games. There will be food, lots of different activities. So try and come out and support those two groups. Doug?
Yes. We have an issue out here in front of the gym along with the parapet of the building. The brick is coming loose, and we had a mason go up there and look at that a week or so ago. And it needs to be repaired. Almost every brick up there has water damage behind it. So one thing we want to talk about is a motion to hire a mason to repair it. You want to do that now? Yeah, okay. Well, here's the information I have. Gary Horner has given us a quote of $11,500 to repair the brick. Matt Hagan from Sound Hall has given us an estimate of $10,000 to $12,000 to repair the brick. And I think since Matt has already looked at the brick, in other words, he's hired or rented a lift. We had 2 men here all day digging around up there to see what was going on. We need to get a motion tonight on who would repair this. Now, I had another quote from Kent Rishel. I called them and asked if they would re-quote it, and they didn't respond. So we have 2 quotes, $11,500 from Gary Horner and $10,000 to $12,000 from Matt Hagan. Comments?
Is Gary's a fixed number?
I don't think either number is a fixed number. I think what you're going to find is that it's time and material because it's very difficult to estimate it precisely. Well, what I'm saying is probably a little over $1,000 has already been spent on looking at the bricks. Okay, that would be included in the $10,000 to $12,000 for Matt Hagan. So, you know, I think it's up in the air as to which is the best one. I guess my feeling is since Matt has already looked at it and put in the time and the effort, that I would personally award it with him. Do you have any comment on that, Gary?
My only comment, I would ask David from a legal perspective, there's the amount that you have to have 3 quotes is 11. So this falls right along that lines of, if it comes in under 11.1, we're okay.
said he could not give a written fixed quote, he gave a written quote of 10 to 12,000 because.
I think the air is usually the same.
And I think probably anyone should be very cautious about quoting something like that. And a fixed quote.
I do think you need one.
Okay.
And monthly cable will have to make one, yeah, so we have the three.
And we will do that. Yeah, okay. All right, I'm looking to table it till next meeting.
If water's going, I mean, you said it's not an emergency, but I mean, if water's going to come in.
Yeah, yeah. It needs to be done pretty soon, but the building's not going to fall down tomorrow.
Any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Aye, motion carries. Anything you want to add on Gregg's school?
Other than, we've had some younger adults coming into the gym. I spoke with them briefly, a couple times, talking, they weren't paying, so use the gym and explain the situation that this is how the people going on and running. We all like to be able to use this building, so to make sure that we can use it. And then sites, I haven't seen them yet, it's awesome.
Secretary and Treasurer's report. I'll entertain a motion to approve the May 9th, 2019 Board of Supervisor meeting minutes.
I'll make the
motion. I will second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, motion carries unanimous. I'll entertain a motion to accept and approve the all funds financial report.
I'll make the motion. I will second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, motion carries unanimous. Anything else for the Secretary Treasurer? Roadmaster's report.
Finally about finished up with the after we got another day or so. The weather's cooperating, which looks like it's just to pick up some of the ditches along the edge of the road and smooth up some low spots that we can do road to. Probably more 2 days off that off, quite a bit in that old bill. We got to touch it all on there to see it already. We started mowing last week. But railroad was had the issue with the mower today. Got brought home overnight, so we'll be back up and running tomorrow. We dropped our above ground storage tank, a temporary one. They gave us a temporary permit. Department of Labor and Industry. We have a 1,000 gallon above tank there now, so we'll try to keep running for whatever fees to do fuel. We just have to look at, I dropped it, after we kind of talked about getting our salt run pump out of the tank because it is right next to the underground tank, which we have to dig out here in the near future. So that's going to chew up a week for the time, so I deal with that, more concrete and whatnot. But that's in the works. We had a few residents complaining about stone and Lingle Valley, the lack thereof. I know they talked to Gary, I don't know if they talked to anybody else. I guess at some point here, I don't exactly know when, but we probably put some stone down back there, so I guess you guys just need to set a little bigger dish on where we want to go. All the mountain roads, other than the roads that have got grants, are lacking instead of department, kind of about there too long, so I guess we set it all bigger. That's it, whatever runs out, we can pick up there next year. And so we can do it, so.
Let's pause on that one so we can discuss that and make a motion. I would like to recommend or make a motion that we spend $10,000 on stone for Lingle Valley as far as that gets us this year. That'd be out of the liquid fuels fund.
I'll make the motion.
Hey, hold on 1 second. So, DSA seems like it lasts a little bit longer, but that's what it's put down
haphazard?
I mean, better than nothing, I mean, but it's hard to say that. It's sticky. But
Okay, I traveled that road a few times, most recently a few months ago, and it seems like it's really holding up well.
you know, the wall we put down, when Larry first started here.
Yeah.
It's still effective, we
Yeah.
need more,
Yeah.
but it's all what you want to do. It's just, there's not as much difference on the variation of materials as QA sometimes. The project back there we're doing now, we're putting QA down on top of it. They actually ran out, no wall, and started crushing again, and the stuff we got recently, like marble. There's not enough time with it, but anything's still better than what's back there because it's honestly. So,
Well, I'll defer to your judgment on that.
Well, it's a question of whether we want to go further or
Yeah.
take longer to go further. There's really not much stone on the valley at all. I would think we would want to try and get a little bit further sooner than later. If we could.
And that's what I'm agreeing to. I'm good with the stone, so you can go.
I'll entertain a motion to do $10,000 worth of 2A for Limbo Valley Road, as far as that gets us.
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries unanimous.
Also, in the most range hours, we met with Gregg Township, and they gave us a bid back, or estimate, I should say, for partnership in this year. Probably doesn't sound like a lot, but once again, I kind of feel like that was let go a little bit too long too, and in the winter, yeah, we try and take care of roads, we're pretty picky about that, but the salt gets in them and they crack. So if we're gonna keep doing that, then we need to keep sealing up too, to try and help preserve them the best we can. So I got, last year, we did the full depth reclamation in paper and blue wall, and that was the binding code to the forest, so I kind of recommended, and everybody else did too, to put a garden tip over top of that, seal that up. Ross Hill is another one that's not bad, but we don't seal it up, plus we have leftover stone from last year, so the cost of it's sitting there at Allison Road. It's, I'd like to get that used up. Trip hole is starting to crack up pretty good. We're trying, I guess, salvage that some until we get to another couple years out, I guess. I think Gilmore Road was paved 2010, 2012-ish, 11 maybe. It's still in pretty good shape, but it's starting to crack up. I guess I'd like to try and preserve that. The worst two, I would say, would be Native Gap starting to crack up pretty good, and Reeder Road as well. I'd like to do a double seal coat on them with stone and Pine Creek Township's time, oil, whatnot, were just over $100,000. So that's up to you guys what you want to do. If you want to try and cut some things out, if you want to go that route, but right now I think a lot of things are falling apart because they've been let go, and the weather's not helping anything to get anything else done. So this is something that we can, somebody else does. All we have to do is sweep the road for them, load the trucks, and we can try and preserve what we have. And if we don't, then potentially things could fall apart one way or each year. So
Brandon, we're providing the stone for that.
that's with stone.
That's with stone
Yeah.
all over 100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, just so we know financially where we are with that, we're looking at the state aid liquid fuels. We have $331,000 in that account. Obviously, we just said about $10,000 for Lingo Valley. This Veneta Gap project may be slightly over, well, will be over what we're looking at a bigger project next year, potentially
There's like 3 or 4.
David Gap or a couple other ones. We obviously don't want to deplete that fund. But each year we get, I think, 160,000. So I would like, if we keep within what we got this year. If we keep what we got this year and kind of stay within that balance, I think, in terms of road projects, and save, half of this for next year's potential bigger projects to add to it, that would be my thoughts. But even still, I think with what we calculated,
There's 2 really cut out of that.
with what Brandon calculated, minus the 2 roads, which ones we got?
Bidder, the end bidder, which is pipe there that I want to replace before we go for it. Allison, because it's all, still have to share it. I don't like that, I don't want to waste money, but I like to try and keep things, you do a little bit each year. Like she said, don't deplete it, but use some of it and try and keep things from getting worse.
My opinion is I would utilize what you feel you need to do and go as far as you can.
I don't want to spend it all. I mean,
Will you name those roads again so that when we make the motion? Take them all. So 6 roads. I'll entertain a motion to approve tar and chipping of Blue Ball, Ross Hill, Shook Hollow, Manatee Gap, Reeder, and
I will make that motion.
any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything else? Just again on the Veneta Gap Road, thank you for your patience on that. Obviously, the weather interferes a lot with road work like that, so I know it's been a bit of a hassle for some people coming in and out of there, especially people that live up there. So thank you for your patience on that as well. On unfinished business, any comment on the business? Office computer issue, the new computer is in and installed. Pam spent a lot of time on that with the Dan Decker doing a lot of work on it, so thanks for the time. So we can finally take that one off originally. Underground storage tanks, Brandon alluded to that. That work should be next week. We're removing the underground storage tanks and having an above-ground diesel tank. The cost was just becoming exorbitant to repair the underground storage tanks. The road signs. Any discussion?
What is the request?
So,
Wanting to put their own road signs up.
I think it was slow horse rider therapy.
here's the thing. I spoke to Carrie about this earlier today. Earlier this year, you passed a resolution that was basically a voluntary sign policy. And it said that when signs are not required, but someone comes to the township and asks for certain signs to be installed, the township has complete discretion as to whether to install those signs. If they are installed, they are purchased by the township, they're installed by the township so that they meet spec and all the procedures are followed. But that person then needs to reimburse the township. The question under the first issue, though, is how would the township decide that the sign should be pursued? If someone comes to you and says they want whatever sign, how do you decide to move forward? And I told Carrie earlier today, before Celeste or anybody else expressed their opinions on it, that typically municipal boards with these situations will ask the surrounding property owners what they want to do. Because they're the ones whose yards and will be impacted, who will otherwise be impacted, etc. So you have complete discretion as to what to do with the sign request, but I would grant that based off of what surrounding properties want. Surrounding property owners want, because they're the ones who are going to be encumbered by the sign.
So we send a letter to every resident along the route that she wants the signs, or specifically find out which property she wants to put the signs on, and send letters to those specific property owners.
Yeah, but we can look at the regs and figure out what the signs would go. I would contact each one of the row areas.
Has she given us any indication at all where she really wants to put it?
I have had numerous phone calls to the office with the opposition to it, so.
Well, I think before we would make a decision, we should send letters out, like you said,
I would agree with
to
that.
get responses from the property owners. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, motion carries. Plus, if you would give the secretary a copy too of information. Resolution regarding right to know. That was brought up at last month's meeting. That's the resolution. It was online for people to look at. While they're reviewing that, do you know what the call was?
Yeah, there's an accident right here, Penn State Road and Penn State Road.
I'll make the motion that we accept resolution number R-1906. A resolution to amend the right to know law and provide relief to manufacturers and requesters. I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. You guys will sign those and pass them back down. Bob Myers, Harbinger Engineering, signature memorandum of subdivision that was tabled from last month. David had sent an email out a few weeks ago saying that it was okay for us to make a motion to sign that document. I'll entertain a motion to sign the signature memorandum of subdivision.
motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, motion carries unanimous. That's the end of unfinished business. New business, in regards to the same subdivision, we need to make a motion to accept the recreation fee in lieu for the Bittner Hollow subdivision.
I'll make the motion that we accept the fee in lieu of land donation.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye, motion carries unanimous. Another topic for the same subdivision that was said was approving the street names for 911 addressing.
Yeah, my question is, Chris might know. Do street name applications for subdivisions usually go through planning commission?
It's all county, not really one thing look at and approve or not. I mean, we haven't had any circumstances previously. Typically, it comes up as part of the subdivision, when we see it later.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't think we have any reservation of that.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I just saw this coming into the meeting. I haven't comprehensively reviewed the zoning ordinance or anything like that, just, or the planning provisions. What they want is they want approval from the township to name the streets associated with the subdivision. Chris is exactly right. The county gives that the okay. It's for County 911. Typically, they want some level of approval from the municipalities. Some municipalities, just a few of them go through another process. Most come straight to the board for these sorts of issues. I don't see any legal issues here, but I'm just reading an email where they...
I couldn't even figure out which street names they finally decided on,
Yeah.
because there was so much back and forth between them.
Huh. Yeah, sorry, I saw the 3 on the front page and didn't realize there were 6 more or 7 more on the options, they say, on the 3rd page. I had 3 more on the 5th page. 3 more on the 6th. Did they request anything specific other than that?
That's what he said, and that's to be on the agenda tonight. I mean, he just sent it this afternoon.
Yeah.
Previously, what we did back in 911 would be approve the actual approval, not options. So
Yeah.
that would not be typical.
Do you want to look at this and see if you can decipher whether this says 3 specific? There's just so much back and forth, I couldn't tell it anymore. Yeah, there was so much of, there's so many of these names that already exist in the area, so we recommend you go different route. Then they said some more, and then they said, there's a bunch of those already in these municipalities. So I couldn't really tell what they've settled on.
I mean, listen, they seem like nice, lovely street names. They're not offensive. They fit wonderfully in the community. But it's not built yet. I mean, there shouldn't be any big rush.
This is going to hold it in. If they want to give it the plan, we'll review next month.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we'll table that then. Along the same lines, we got an email from mapping and addressing from 911. They said the field tech found a cemetery on Ridge Road that we do not have in our database system. Not sure if it's an Amish cemetery, private or public. Do you know anything about this? It should be addressed as a landmark reference point, but they want permission from the township. And it's something new to me, I don't know. That's something you just do as a proof.
Yeah. Yeah, you do want this to be in the records. It's a cemetery on Ridge Road. Do you know who wants it?
Yeah.
Well,
So something you have to ask them permission for, or just-
no, this is just to put in the county GIS network. I would just work with it. You don't need a motion. I would just respond with whatever information you have.
Just as a note, correspondence, we did receive an email from residents complaining about the speed limit on, I think that one is for Long Street.
Yes.
As well as we've had comments about Cooper Street. So they wanted us to discuss that. We can put it on as an agenda item at another point. They're state roads, so it's kind of out of our control.
Well, if it changes, we would have.
We have to pay the lower.
An engineering study, and we would have to pay for the signs. I don't think the state will probably.
I mean, it's an issue, obviously. I live on Cooper Street, so I understand the speeding on that. I don't know that lowering speed limit signs is actually going to make a difference in terms of how fast people drive on those roads. But it is an issue. So, I don't know if it's something we can
Good example.
say to PennDOT, like,
Before you thought the speed limit was changed there, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference.
Send an email.
I did attend a grant seminar today that Senator Jake Corman's office did. And there's a lot of PennDOT or DCED, multimodal, or different types of grants for stuff like that. So it might be something we could look into, having PennDOT look at the safety issues on specific roads, since residents are living there.
That's what I should do.
Anything else on regular portion? As we begin is this still on? Yeah. Okay. As we begin the town hall portion of the meeting, I just want to say let's remember to be respectful of each other. If you have a question or comment, please come up to the microphone in the center aisle and state your name and what municipality you are from when it's your turn. Only one person should be speaking at a time, and we ask that you don't call out while others are speaking. The Board of Supervisors are representatives of the organizations the question is directed to. Will answer your question, or we'll make note of it and make sure to get back to you at a later date with an answer. We appreciate that you took the time to come out and engage in conversation with us tonight about our community. I'm only going to give a very few brief comments, and then I'm going to open the floor up so that we can hear about what's important to you. I'm not going to go over everything going on in the township, so if there's a subject that's important to you, please take the time to ask about it. There are certain things we can control and certain things that we can't. We need to stop spending time on issues that we can't control and start finding ways to solve the crises that we can. There's several hot topic issues such as emergency services, and some of those issues are sure to come up this evening. I just want to encourage everyone to take a moment to put aside your likes or dislikes for individuals and instead think of how we can overcome these issues together. I recently heard a quote, and I think it applies to what's going on in our community. Take that anger and turn it into action. You might not necessarily be angry, you might just be deeply concerned, or maybe you are angry. Instead of belittling or berating people, most of whom are giving their time volunteering, or complaining about how things aren't being done the way we would do them, let's instead turn concern into action. If you're relying on the three of us up here to solve all the issues the township is facing, we're going to let you down. That's just the truth. Whether we're here every day or once a month, we only know so much and we only have so much time. Instead, we're here to empower the community to take care of each other. We need you to be part of the solution. If you don't like how something is being handled, offer your assistance. offer to work side by side so that instead of dividing the community, we now have a broader pool of knowledge and skills moving Gregg Township forward. Some tangible ways to do this: join the fire company, volunteer as a firefighter or an EMT. Not able to do that? Do you have a business background, skilled at business planning? Offer to help the fire company or EMS establish a business plan. Do you have experience running a capital fundraising campaign? Are you a contractor looking for a way to give back to the community? Good at writing or have grant experience? We need you in almost every aspect of the community. Have a passion for parks and recreation? We've got parks and recreation. The more we come together and give of our time, or even financial donations, to organizations such as the fire company and EMS, the less dependent on tax increases or government intervention, and the more healthy, vibrant, and safe our community will be. Now that being said, I want to encourage you to take this time to voice your concerns, offer suggestions, and ask the hard questions. We will do our best to answer them, or we'll get back to you with the answers. Please, again, be considerate of each other as fellow community members, and try not to speak over each other. So now the microphone is open for you.
Good evening. I forgot to introduce myself earlier. My name is Gregg. I've been in Gregg Township for 26 years. Moved here from Center Hall, so I've been a lifelong Penn Valley area resident. I was approached about 2 years ago to join the fire company. Previously, I was in the Center Hall Fire Company. In December, I was voted as an assistant chief by my peers. There's been a lot of rumors flying around about the fire company. I'm here hopefully tonight to give you a report about the fire company and dispel any rumors that are going on about the fire company. So I'll begin. I looked at a Facebook post today from Jeff Musser, who is a volunteer firefighter from Bollesburg. He said, just another day of being a volunteer firefighter. Day off work equals spending 2 hours in the morning making phone calls for or about the fire company. Then 3 meetings in the afternoon with contractors and maintenance people. We all have full-time jobs. That's why we're called volunteer firefighters, just like the board of supervisors are volunteers. I would like to start by thanking Belmont Fire Company for being here tonight to represent us, and Center Hall's Chief Harry Hockenberry and his wife for taking time out of their schedule to be here to help support us this evening. And all the community members and board of supervisors to support us. A person that's very influential in my life once told me, you don't have to remember the truth. That's my dad, sitting right here supporting me tonight. So what I'm about to tell you is things that I've witnessed over the past 2 years, that I've written down, that I don't have to remember, because it's the truth. Our membership's growing, contrary to popular belief. And most Center County municipalities, most people in the state of Pennsylvania, most companies in the United States don't have that luxury. Their numbers are declining. Our average response time is 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Our average person per call is 8 people per call. That is factual information. We have a system that's called I Am Responding. We pulled that off of I Am Responding. For those of you who don't know, when the pager goes off, before it's repaged for another call or for you to get out again, it's 4 minutes. We have a piece of equipment on the road, on average, before that second call goes out for help. We have certified firemen, which grew in numbers over the past 2 years. For those of you who don't know what the certifications mean, it means to you tax-paying citizens of Gregg Township, When we have an ISO rating, that changes our ISO rating, which in turn changes your homeowner's insurance, because we have qualified firefighters in this community. We have been adding equipment. Yes, we had this fortune. We had one piece of equipment donated to us by Port Matilda. There was 3 gentlemen in this room today that were operating that piece of equipment when it broke. My wife could have easily been a widow and lost her son because of the accident that happened, the misfortune of that truck. Grants. We've had more grants in the past year than a long time. We actually lost one grant because the proper paperwork wasn't filled out before the proper people were put in place to receive that grant. Scott, our chief, worked with the state representatives to try to get that money. It was around $12,000. $12,000 is a lot of money to Gregg Township Fire. We unfortunately could not get that money because it was not properly handled. Grant money that we received this year was mostly used to buy gear. Those of you who know, when you go into a fire scene, you have to be properly dressed. Most of the gear at Gregg Township Fire Company is out of date. What does that mean to the community? When we respond to a scene, whether it's an accident or whether it's a fire, we go into a fire scene with outdated equipment and we get hurt. The Gregg Township community pays our workers' comp. If we go onto a fire scene or an accident and get hurt on that scene, our workers' comp can be denied because we have outdated equipment. Because that equipment has not been updated throughout the years. What's that mean? It's coming back to the taxpayers. Because the supervisors are now going to have to pick up the cost for that person being injured.
I'm just making sure that the camera doesn't stop while you're...
I knew what you were doing. I run the camera once or twice. We now have and are working on policies to replace the gear on a yearly basis.
You say it stop.
Just stop 1 second.
That'll give me a chance to get through.
The top microphone on?
Yeah.
Bring it, I can ask for a pay raise. So I didn't touch on one thing. The engine that we got that we were working on training on was in service for about 10 days before the accident happened. Lamar Township, who's not even in Center County, I don't think, heard about our misfortune, donated us another engine for $1. We thought we were going down there to borrow it. When we walked in there, those guys said, listen, we had something paid forward. If you have $1 in your pocket, you just bought this fire truck. It's the one that's in service currently right now that you saw the firemen leave earlier. There was a wreck here on Route 45. It responded. So contrary to popular belief, we do respond to calls. We have and are currently setting up grants to help pay for new turnout gear, which is what we wear. Also for a new truck. It's about 1.5 to 2 year turnaround time till we write the grant, get the grant accepted, and get the truck in our fire hall. So right now, we're using the engines that were donated to us. Training. We have 2 firemen certified at firefighter 1 level. We have 2 firemen certified at level 2, firefighter 2. Fire police are certified. EVOC certification, which is Emergency Vehicle Operation certification. Hazmat certified. Participating department in the Fire Commissioner's Office of Continuing Education. CPR First Aid certified. 3 certified emergency medical responders, and 2 certified EMTs. Fundraising. Not only do we respond to calls, but we also have to fundraise to keep our doors open. Bingo, which was not a popular topic when we wanted to start having bingos. Our bingos now average around $1,000 of profit per month. Thank you, community. Thank you, Judy, for fighting through that. One of the things that we did at our bingos is we opened it up to the people playing bingo as to what food you wanted to eat. Bingo players like to eat finger food, so they can keep playing bingo. With that being said, we had a citizen approach us and say, hey, I'd like to make soup for your bingo. That is community support. We have hoagie sales. We have sandwich sales. The sandwich sales are ham and cheese and turkey and cheese. And it is a double fundraiser because it helps us, but it's also made by the small little church up that the Cobolds go to, like Synagogue Gap. It is a fundraiser for them. They make the sandwiches, they get a profit off of it, they deliver it to us, we get a profit off of it. That is community service. Chicken barbecues. We started something new this year. We put a rodent up there. Charles, you had a lot to do with that. I thank you for that. And everybody else in the community who donated time, trucks, and equipment to put those roads in. We had a drive-through chicken barbecue, hoagie, soup sale for Penn State football games. Well, we thought we'd get a lot of Penn State traffic. We did, but we had overwhelming community support for that. We had people asking when the next one was going to be. Okay, guys, I know you contributed to that a lot, so I want to thank you for making macaroni salad, and I don't know if you made beans or not, but whatever you made, thank you. Our annual carnival's coming up. That's a big fundraiser. Last year we had one of the biggest carnival profits that we have had in a long time. Gun raffle. We're going to try something different this year. Our surrounding fire companies have a gun raffle. They have food and beverages there. It's going to be at the carnival grounds. Come out, spend the day. Actually, I don't think it's a day. I think it's 11 to 4. I don't want to be there on this. I think it's 11 to 4. It is a big fundraiser for a lot of the local fire companies. So please come out and support us. If you hear of a gun raffle drawing of any other surrounding fire companies, please come out and help them too. Helmet cash raffle. We started something here 3 months ago. We started a helmet/cash raffle. There's some companies over in Mifflin County that do it. They sell 200 tickets at $10 a piece. So do the math, that's $2,000. They give away either a cash prize of $675 or they give away a leather fire helmet. So if you're a fireman, you win the helmet, it's pretty cool. Just don't tell your wife that you won the helmet instead of taking $675. But we had one that was very successful. We now have another one underway. In general, and in closing, sorry for taking so much time. Our doors are open. We want transparency. We want the community to come out. We want the community to support. We're there every Monday night, either fixing equipment, cleaning up the shed, or out training. Please come see what we do. Other companies have reached out to us to train with them. I can only speak for the past 2 years. This has been happening for the past 2 years. I don't know whether it happened before. But I'm telling you, other companies are reaching out. They want to train with us. Other chiefs around the area are writing letters to the Board of Supervisors saying that this fire company is growing, this fire company is in a good place. Rumors. They're easy. It's easy to spread a rumor. Come see us. Come see a member. Call me. I live at 143 Beaver Street. Come see me. Come pound on my door. I'll tell you right from wrong. I'll tell you the truth. If I don't know the answer, I'll give you the answer. This is a big one. Change. Nobody likes change. Unfortunately, we're in a never-changing world. So you can either embrace change, or you can hide behind change. If you hide behind change, what do you have that's going to be revealed with the change? What do you hide? In closing, the Gregg Township Fire Company is here for the community. Is the community here for us? That's all I got. Any questions while I'm here? Yes.
Neighbor, friends, home farmer. The question was asked to me a couple of times, and the rumors going through the valley. If you lived in the township 26 years, how come you just joined now? Okay, now, you don't know how to do it, that's the question going around. Here's a good place to answer.
You got it. I'll go better than that. 3 years ago, my now 20-year-old son wanted to become a firefighter. I said, not in Gregg Township. Not with the leadership we have in there right now. I said, go to Center Hall, go to Millhot, go to Reeversburg. I don't care where you go, you're not going to Spring Mills. He joined Center Hall. He's now a firefighter level 1. While he was in school full-time, he took firefighter 1. Why I didn't join? Those of you who've lived in the community a long time, remember El Poblito's Mexican restaurant right over here. I was a firefighter still in Center Hall, living in Spring Mills. I was working night shift. My wife came in and woke me up and said, the Mexican restaurant over town is on fire. Do you think you should go help? I said, yes, I should. I got out of bed. I come over. That's when the engine that is sitting over here that we just sold for $6,000 some odd dollars was brand new. I came over, I walked up to the engine operator, and I said, how can I help? They said, well, give us a second. They're trying to get water. The firemen are hauling for water. They're trying to fight a fire. They cannot get water. I tapped the operator of that specific piece of equipment on the shoulder, and I said, you may want to close your pump valve. You have more water running out of this truck than you do going out of hose. I cannot repeat what was told to me, Gail, because we're in a public forum. It included the F word 3 or 4 times, and get out of here, you young punk from Center Hall. At that time, however long ago that was, I walked away. 2 years ago, a knock came at my door. I was approached to rejoin the Gregg Township Fire Company. I have had several people thank me. Not that I'm anything special. I could be sitting at home right now on my back porch with my feet propped up, not worried about what's going on in the community of Spring Mills. Have I had second thoughts about doing that? No. Should have I? Maybe. But no. I want to be here for the community. We want to be here for the community. And like I said, we're here for you. Are you here for us?
Well, that should answer one problem.
I hope it does. If it doesn't, I'll stand here all night. I only have half a jug of water, but I can go refill it. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. Why, I've never heard of any of the stuff that's going on. Why isn't the community being notified?
Of what, the equipment breaking down?
You just said a lot of stuff, I have no clue that's happening here.
Okay. So, I agree. I will take partial blame for that. Moving forward, we will have, Gregg Township Fire Company will have a representative here at every meeting, supervisors meeting. I promise you that. I'm not sure how many we have come to this year. We are volunteers. We have other things going on. We have other meetings that we need to attend for volunteers. Unfortunately, We have not well represented ourselves. Okay? We're here to fix that. Okay? And like I said, my phone number is actually on the fire hall door. All right? I try to go to bed between 9:30 and 10, so please don't call after that. I know I'm old. Everybody tells me I'm old. But seriously, call. I live right on Cooper Street. Stop in. We're fine. Scott, I know your door's open. I know your phone number's on the doors. You want to stand up, Scott? Scott Rayon's actually our chief. He left to go on a call. His name is also on the door. All the assistant chiefs' names are on the door with their phone numbers. And Dale Musser's name is on the door because you rent the hall, correct? With your phone number, I believe. Anything else?
While you're there, I'd like you to make a comment. The rumor going around that the truck that was donated to us, we smashed it. Yes, we did, but it wasn't our fault. It was fault of the equipment. That ought to be cleared up and save a lot of rumors for the township.
So the equipment that we got donated from Port Matilda, we brought it down here, and before we put it in service, we wanted to start from ground zero with records. So we sent it down to Gregg, who is a fire company, fire engine mechanic. They're down in Mill Hall. We sent it down there. They called Scott, and they said, there's some things wrong with this. We agreed in a meeting to fix it before we got it, so that it didn't break. I don't remember the timeline of how long it was.
About 3 months.
2 months?
3 months.
3 months. We got it back. It was working great. We drove it. We had people certified on it. We had people certified on the pump. It was working great. And 3 of us were up training. And it jumped out of gear and took off down through the brush. My son was on top of it, jumped off. I was at the pump panel operating with another gentleman. I'm intentionally not mentioning his name. Okay, Jim raised his hand, Jim Smith. We were training Jim Smith. It was actually the same day as the Frosty Hook was on fire. We had that piece of equipment there. So what's really scary is the people sitting on Pickle's front porch, that truck could have went into that front porch. We don't know. Anyhow, we were training Jim. Jim could have been easily swept under the truck and run over. When the truck took off, it hit a power line, pole, guide wire. My son jumped off. I ran and got in the truck to try and stop it. I didn't want any damage done to it. Hindsight, it's 2020. Pretty stupid. Could have been run over. It went through the brush, ripped the door off. The door went flying behind me, and actually, enough force of the truck, the door got wedged under the side of the truck into the ground. So, that was misfortune. We still had equipment in our fire hall to fight fire. Never at any time did we not have equipment in our fire hall to fight fire. Then, like I said, Lamar Township found out about our misfortune. We went over there, bought a truck for $1.
Darren, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can you specify for the people of Gregg Township when you had an engine fail, go out of service? At that time, you chiefs put mutual aid immediately in order to cover Gregg Township and the piece that they were missing. So at no point in time, the same amount of water was responding to this township. It was coming from a further distance, but they covered their bases. They never left the citizens uncovered. Am I correct?
Good point, Governor. So never at any point was the Gregg Township citizens or surrounding citizens in danger of not having fire service. We had mutual aid. We had trucks to get out the door to fight the fire. We didn't have a lot of water on them, but we knew mutual aid was coming. To go one step further, Domer, since he spoke up, is a member of Gregg Township Fire Company and is also a member of Center Hall Fire Company. Sean Meyer, who's been a lifelong resident of Penn Valley, is a Gregg Township resident and one of the assistant chiefs at Center Hall. In the past 2 years, we've built a great working relationship with not only Center Hall, with Milheim and Reeversburg. if one of our chiefs cannot cover, our first assistant chief is Dale Tischer. He works 2 in the afternoon to 11 at night, or 2 to 10. He is here 99% of the time until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, between 12:30 and 1 o'clock. You have a chief in Gregg Township, at least until 1 o'clock. I'm the second assistant chief. I have permission to leave work for any call. Yes, I'm in state college. I'm 20 minutes out. But at least I'm responding, at least I'm communicating with the county on what we need. Scott, our chief, unfortunately, has a job where he can't leave. He is here for coverage all day Sunday and all day Monday. Since we have built a good working relationship with the surrounding companies, Domer helps cover when we are out of town or whether we have something going on. Sean Meyer, Senator Hall's assistant, is also used for coverage. We've worked with Harry, we worked with Sean to have him covered. For those of you who don't know, he lives by the New Hope Church. He's right here. When the Frosty Hope fire happened, I was at my camp behind high school, cutting wood for my dad. Sean responded. Domer responded. I responded. Sean got on scene first. They put him in command. That does not mean Gregg Township did not respond. Gregg Township was here. We had 2 pieces of equipment. We had 9 people and 2 chiefs. We responded. Picture was in the paper. We have 2 pieces of equipment sitting there. So contrary to rumors, we have coverage. Pardon my French, we have damn good coverage. Dale, you seem to be the question back. Got anything else?
I got a whole list that we don't have time for.
All right, well, he's putting that down.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for being here. While he's putting that down, anybody else that wants to come up and ask questions? I just want to say Lindsay couldn't be here for the EMS. We have a joint municipal meeting regarding the EMS on June 23rd, so we should learn a lot more. I will say that things are still not going well with the EMS financially and organizationally, so we're hoping that on June 24th, the 7 municipalities will have a little bit more information on how to move forward with that. So, anybody else have any questions about anything going on in the township? Nobody?
I just would like to know where are you advertising this so that everybody else knows what's going on?
Where are we advertising what?
What's going on? I came for a regular meeting to find out at the town hall.
It's online, it's on social media.
Okay, guess what? Not everybody has that. So what are we supposed to do? Just stay in the dark?
You can call the township office and they can tell you when the next meeting is.
I do have a little bit of information that way, but it's not enough. We're not getting enough notification. I didn't know this was going on tonight. And I'm sure a lot more people don't either.
It costs a lot of money to put advertisements in. We could send mailers. It costs a lot of money. So the town has to decide what, you know.
What about that?
We talked about it at the last meeting, actually, so it was on the minutes it was on.
I came to a meeting that wasn't even here because online it said there was a meeting, and when I got here, there wasn't. And even in the case, it said there was a meeting. So, now what? So that's what I mean.
I don't know what
So
you're
much
referring to.
There's confusion there.
It's something we can look into a little bit more. But we do try to announce at the previous meeting what's going on at the next meeting. The best we can do is put agendas online. You can stop and get an agenda in the office before that. We try and have the agendas done at the beginning of the week. But we can look at other forms of communication as well.
The board of supervisors meetings was basically like a year post, right? They would just be more at the town hall part of it. Right, but there was changes made that I
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'd like to say something here. My name's Gregg at Center Hall Fire Company. I'm the chief up there. I want to tell all of you, every one of you, this fire department has grown 100%. Center Hall has taken Old Kirk and moved all those companies back and added Gregg Township for our first visit. You cannot, I mean, are you two township supervisors and members of the fire department? Are you getting involved, see what's going on? Okay. What would you rather have them do? Would you rather see them do fundraisers, or would you rather have them do fighting fire? You guys have got to get behind these guys 100%. Everybody needs to get behind these guys 100%. They're saving all your guys' life. Look at the insurance that you're paying. If you guys dissolve this fire company, you're going to pay a lot of insurance. A lot of insurance. So think about what you're doing and all the rumors that's going around. Because this fire company is here. So, thank you.
While you're up there,
Yes.
I want to make a note. Mutual aid is better than I have ever seen it in all the years I've been with there.
I'll tell you, we have meetings throughout the year. All four companies get together. Never happened before. It never happened before. The four departments get together, we hash things out, we plan things out for the year. These guys are excellent. Don't turn them away.
I'd like to pick up where Harry just left off. I've been an active member of Center Hall Fire Company since 1989 or 1990. I know for years fire companies based their coverage on township and municipal line. Well, it's 2019. Those days are long gone. Center Hall's volunteer status has dropped. I mean, we're lucky we're one of the few of the county that we continue to have an active status. Gregg Township has really come a long way. I know for years we didn't utilize Gregg Township because we couldn't depend on response. We'd ask for an engine, we may get 1 or 2 people in. Sometimes we may get 7 or 8. But that's not their fault. The manpower is hard to come across. Volunteers don't exist. In the fire service, you don't have to put full turnout gear on and fight fires. You don't have to extricate patients from a vehicle. There are so many other things that every person in this community could volunteer and come out and help. You don't have to deal with, as we would put it, the blood in the guts and that type of thing. You really don't. And we'd like to welcome more people. I know Center Hall, we get members all the time. We're lucky with community members. We don't have carnivals in our communities anymore. I mean, thank goodness Gregg Township still does. Milheim's having theirs tonight. Reversburg still has theirs. You ask about communications. Communications are difficult. It is hard for us to communicate to the community what's going on when township supervisors have a hard time advertising a meeting for people to understand. I can't explain how we can do it. We're all guilty of it. The volunteer fire service is guilty of not getting communication to the citizens. But I will tell you, we try to do our best. I know one of the things that they do in Center Hall is we have a newsletter. Our fire company tries to put something in that newsletter that goes to all the citizens, I think 4 times a year. It's quarterly, am I correct? It gives you some type of information. It gives you something. But please trust that I don't think there's anybody in Penns Valley that would do anything detrimental to this community or anybody that lives here. And I will tell you 3 years ago, 2016, the 4 fire companies of Penn Valley never got along well. I'll be the first one to tell you that. You know, oh, we're better than you, we do this. Well, that needed to stop. So we recommended the 4 companies get together and have a meeting. Well, we held it at a neutral site, which was Company 28's ambulance station. That was the point where everyone sat at the table and said, okay, there's been problems. What are they? Doug, you were there. We hashed those out. It gave everybody an opportunity to get the problems out there. We resolved them. From that day forward, we have a perfect working relationship, all 4 companies. Penn Valley sustains itself. It hasn't happened in the 30 years that I was there until recently. We don't have to call Boulevard. We don't have to call Pleasant Gap. We don't have to call. We use our own companies, which is great. We actually bought new rescue tools in Center Hall 2 years ago. We bought and made sure all our equipment interworked with Milheim and Rebersburg. So if our piece of equipment broke, we could take theirs, tie it right into our rescue, and they could go to work. Spring Mills bought our old equipment so that they had something to start with, because obviously we all know vehicle accidents are probably 75% of our calls. It's just how it is. We don't have a lot of fires, thank God, but we have vehicle accidents all the time. But I would just like to say I appreciate everything that every person that's active in the fire company right now is doing, and I think it's a great thing that Penn Valley is working together as a whole. And yes, I live on Reeder Road. I grew up in Center Hall. I guess I've always had something with Center Hall. I could never give it up. So I've always stayed an active member. I'm currently First Safety Officer for Center Hall. But I'm also active with Gregg Township now. And even when I wasn't a member, if they needed help, I always went. That's just, and they always accepted it. It didn't matter. You know, that's how we work here. You don't have to be a member of Company 7, Company 4, Company 18 to be your call. Any one of us can pull into a fire scene or an accident scene, and we will utilize every person that's there. And that's how it should be. Especially today, because nobody wants to volunteer. Everyone wants to pay.
I got a question. How come someone needs to let someone go in?
What's this now?
Why come you don't let someone go in?
Well, I
I'm not
can.
answer, but I'm not getting.
No, I will tell you. Center Hall has standard operating procedures. So there's a minimum requirement that we like, and it's basically based on our insurance companies. They have to have what is now known as Essentials of Firefighting. I believe it's how many modules? 4 modules still. All right, how many total hours? 188? 165 hours is what basically we say, if you're going to be a new fireman and you want to do interior firefighting, you need to take 165 hours of training. Now I want you to add those hours up. I'm 48 years old, as a matter of fact, today's my birthday. So I gave up my birthday with my family to come here tonight to defend everybody around.
Well, I know years ago, and I know the people within the fire company, and they put them out. And I'm very angry at the fire company for it.
And that?
Just because it's not related to me and my husband and I, they treat us like dirt.
Well, and that?
And I'll say it anyway, they treated us like dirt.
And that's
No matter
unfortunate.
what walked over.
And I will tell you, that is unfortunate, because today, we can't turn anybody away. If anybody's willing to give 2 hours of their time, that's 2 hours that one of the other guys don't have to do. And we're trying to fix that. Trust me, it's hard. But same thing with vehicle accidents. Today's vehicles, they aren't the same as they were 30 years ago. There's so many things we need to watch when we pull in. We can't just, I mean, I can tell you when I first got in, you went up to a vehicle and if there was somebody pinned inside, the older members taught us how to cut them out. That was the training we had. You didn't have to worry about airbags deploying in your face. You didn't have to worry about electric cords running from a battery cell to the motor that's going to electrocute you when you cut through it. You know, so the training, I can tell you most of the guys are tech level training, which is a state certified course.
I can tell you there's a lot, my husband over the front,
It's,
over here.
okay, and I think I might have been at that call.
Firemen were good.
I think I held you in that vehicle from underneath the vehicle the whole time till we got you out.
No, it was not. My husband, he was there 3 hours.
Okay.
We're ready to go out.
Okay,
I
well,
drove up there already. I'm not hurt on the one.
like I said, I don't want to make it, it's very difficult to get people to do things anymore. It is, it's hard. Sure.
So as far as communications is
Yes.
concerned, do you guys, does the Gregg Township Department, do you have a website or a Facebook page that's public that we could?
There is an active Facebook page
Okay.
that I know anybody can sign on to, and I believe, do you still use your website?
Yeah, it shows the
Well, the
website.
reason I ask is because I know, Terry talked about not only for the township, the ways that we can help the township, and often I stop in or I call and say, what do you guys need help with or something, or Terry and I talk to the same church. So, but same thing with you guys, like I think that people would be more apt to help in little things here and there if they could, and same thing with the township. If maybe that kind of stuff could be posted somewhere on the website or on a Facebook page, things that you're looking for help with. So if somebody has a skill, then maybe they could, like Terry said about grant writing, and you guys have some grant, the fire company has some grants. So somebody that has experience that kind of stuff and maybe volunteer or at least give some input. So I think if there was a way to make those, hey, this is what we're looking for, anybody who would like to help, if you have a fundraiser going on and you don't have enough help,
Right.
those type of things, like I would be more apt to say, hop on there and look, every once in a while, and see if there was something that was, I could help to do,
True.
And
And
maybe there's other
did anybody, and we all know how, most of us know how Facebook works. If something's posted, you don't necessarily see it in your,
Right.
whatever they call that, I'm getting too old, but news feed, thank you. But if you type in Gregg Township Fire Company, their Facebook page is going to pop up. And maybe if you do that weekly, you may come up and say, oh, there's a new thing. Perfect example. I believe there was events sent out today for the Gregg Township Fire Company for when the carnival is. And I know it's for the dunk tank, and yes, I was talked into saying okay, all right. And I hope that, maybe a lot of people come out and throw balls, and, whatever. My daughter was all upset. She thought I was going to drown, and I said, well, it's possible. But I just wanted to say thanks to everybody, because I know it's not an easy job. Nobody's, you heard the hours. Just for firefighting and vehicle accidents, you're looking at over 300 hours. That's a lot of time. You have little kids at home. We all have full-time jobs. 30 years ago, a lot of wives didn't work. Husbands did it. They could volunteer a lot more of their time. I'm sorry, in my house, it takes my wife and I both to work to take care of our kids. We also volunteer. It's not just with the fire company. I was a township supervisor for a while. I was a Center Hall Borough Councilman. And I'm not sure I made the greatest decision, but I'm going to be a school board director coming this fall. So that limits my time with the fire company. But I still can find ways to get out there and help, even if it's just fundraising. So everybody consider that and know that we have a lot of problem identifiers in this valley. What we need is problem solvers. That's what we need.
Thank you. I know there's a lot of firemen here from the fire company, so I'm sure you'll be around if people want to talk afterwards.
That's the question.
Sure. Any other questions about any other township stuff? Feel free to email us, call us, stop in the office, follow us on Facebook. There's subscriptions online. You can subscribe to e-notifications. You'll get emails anytime we update stuff on there. But please feel free, any concerns, comments, suggestions, to get in touch with us. So I thank you all for coming out. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for